Living Forward by Michael Hyatt and Daniel Harkavy. Picture a perfect July morning in the Colorado Rockies. The air is crisp and cool, carrying the scent of pine and damp earth. A stream bubbles beside the trail, while wildflowers paint the landscape in brilliant colors. It's the kind of morning that feels almost magical. This is where Michael Hyatt, one of our authors, found himself on a long hike. He was completely absorbed in the experience, mesmerized by the rhythm of his steps and the stunning beauty surrounding him. He crossed a small footbridge, then another, winding his way up a steep path. Eventually, feeling a bit winded, he decided he'd gone far enough. He took a sip of water and started back down the trail. Or so he thought. After a few minutes, something felt wrong. The forest seemed darker, denser. And strangest of all, he could no longer hear that bubbling stream. The truth slowly dawned on him. He wasn't just lost in the experience anymore. He was actually genuinely lost. Somewhere along the way, he'd taken a wrong turn. His heart started racing. Panic began creeping in. But then he remembered something crucial. He'd been tracking his hike on an app. He pulled out his phone, desperately hoping for a signal, and there it was. 5 bars. The screen lit up with a map, showing every step he'd taken, including the exact spot where he went wrong. Within 10 minutes, he was back on the right path, safe and sound. Now, getting lost on a mountain hike is one thing, but what about life? What happens when you look up one day and realize you're on the wrong path? When your marriage isn't what you'd hoped for, your career feels meaningless, or your health is falling apart? You can't just pull out a phone app for your life, or can you? That's the profound question at the heart of the book we're exploring today. Living Forward, a proven plan to stop drifting and get the life you want, by Michael Hyatt and Daniel Harkavy. This isn't just another self-help book. It's a practical roadmap that has helped thousands of people stop being passengers in their own lives and start becoming the architects of their future. By the time we're done today, you'll have the blueprint for this map. You'll understand why so many people end up in lives they never chose, and you'll learn 3 powerful questions that, if answered honestly, can completely change your future. This is your chance to stop drifting and start living with intention. So let's dive in. Have you ever felt it? That quiet, nagging feeling that you're just drifting. You wake up, go through the motions, school, work, chores, repeat, and one day blends into the next. It's not that your life is terrible, exactly. It just doesn't feel like yours. It feels like a story being written for you, rather than one you're writing yourself. The authors call this phenomenon the drift. It's like being a surfer caught in a riptide. You might be paddling hard, trying to reach the shore, but an invisible current is pulling you farther and farther out to sea. Before you know it, you look up and find yourself in a place you never intended to be. Why does this happen? The book explains that the drift usually happens for one of 4 reasons. Sometimes, it's because we're unaware, like a new surfer who doesn't understand ocean currents. We might have grown up with assumptions about life, money, or relationships that are simply wrong. We don't know what we don't know, so we drift. Other times it's because we're distracted. We get so caught up in the next project, the next notification, the next episode, that we forget to look up and see where we're headed. We're so focused on the shiny objects right in front of us that we don't notice we're drifting miles off course. Sometimes, we're overwhelmed. Life throws more at us than we think we can handle. We tell ourselves, I'll get back on track as soon as this busy season is over. But one busy season flows into the next, and we never stop to ask why we keep ending up in these overwhelming situations. And finally, sometimes we drift because we're deceived. We start believing we're powerless. We think, I can't change, or this is just the way things are. We surrender our ability to choose, and as a result, the current of life takes us wherever it pleases. The consequences of the drift are heartbreaking. It leads to confusion, where life feels meaningless. It leads to lost opportunities because we can't tell the difference between a real opportunity and a distraction. And most tragically, it leads to pain and regret. The regret of looking back at the end of your life and being haunted by the if-onlys. If only I'd taken better care of myself. If only I'd spent more time with the people I love. If only I'd been brave enough to pursue my real dream. This isn't a dress rehearsal. We only get one shot at this. The good news, the wonderful, liberating news at the core of living forward, is that you don't have to be a victim of the drift. The antidote is something the authors call a life plan. So what exactly is a life plan? It's not some massive, complicated binder full of charts and graphs. A life plan is a short, written document, usually about 8 to 15 pages long. It's created by you, for you. It's a living document that acts like a personal GPS. It clarifies where you are, helps you decide on your destination, and gives you turn-by-turn directions to get there. The entire process of creating this plan is built on answering 3 incredibly powerful questions. Our lives are shaped by the questions we ask. Bad questions lead to bad outcomes. Good questions lead to good outcomes. And these 3 questions are among the best you'll ever ask yourself. Let's walk through them together. This is where the real transformation begins. The first powerful question: how do I want to be remembered? In planning anything, the best place to start is at the end. If you're planning a vacation, you first decide on the destination. That choice determines everything else: how you'll get there, what you'll pack, where you'll stay. The same is true for your life. The authors ask us to do a fascinating and perhaps slightly uncomfortable exercise. Imagine you could attend your own funeral. You're sitting quietly in the back, listening as your family, friends, and colleagues stand up to speak about you. What do you want them to say? What stories do you want them to tell? How would they summarize what your life meant to them? When you're gone, the only truly important thing you'll leave behind are the memories you've created in the hearts of others. And the beautiful thing is, you don't have to leave those memories to chance. You can start creating them intentionally, right now. This isn't about being rich or famous. Every single one of us leaves a legacy. Your legacy is the sum total of the values you live by, the love you express, and the service you give to others. The question isn't whether you'll leave a legacy, but what kind of legacy you'll leave. To answer this first question, you start by writing your own eulogy. First, identify your key relationships. Think about the most important people in your life: your spouse, your children, your parents, your closest friends, your colleagues. Then, for each of them, describe how you want to be remembered. For example, a young mother named Karen wrote, "I want my husband Gary to remember that he was always my very best friend. I want him to remember what a powerful partnership we had and how our individual talents complemented our incredible marriage." A high school teacher named Chad wrote about his children, "I want to be remembered as a father who was deeply involved in their lives. I want them to think of how I would be able to talk about anything. I want to be known by the focused attention I gave to them." This exercise forces you to get crystal clear on what truly matters. It cuts through all the noise, all the external expectations, all the fear of failure, and leaves only what's essential. By starting with the end in mind, you create a powerful magnetic pull that draws you toward the future you truly desire. Once you know how you want to be remembered, you're ready for the next question. The second powerful question: what matters most? You know what's important to your parents. You probably know what's important to your teachers or your boss. But have you ever given yourself permission to truly ask, what's important to me? This question is about defining your priorities. If you don't define them for yourself, the world will happily define them for you. The authors suggest a brilliant way to think about this. Imagine your life is made up of several different bank accounts, not financial accounts, but life accounts. These are the major domains of your life, the compartments that make up the whole you. There are 9 common ones, arranged in 3 circles. At the very center is the circle of being. This is all about you. It includes your spiritual account, your intellectual account, and your physical account. It's about your inner world. The next ring out is the circle of relating. This is about you in relation to others. It includes your marital account if you're married, your parental account if you have kids, and your social account, which covers friendships and community. And the outermost ring is the circle of doing. This is about your output in the world. It includes your vocational account, your job or career, your avocational account, your hobbies and passions, and your financial account. Now, your list might be a little different. Maybe you're single, so you don't have a marital account. Maybe you have a specific account for adventure or creativity. That's the beauty of it. This is your chart of accounts. The goal is to identify between 7 and 12 areas that are truly important to you. Once you've identified your life accounts, the next step is to assess their condition. Just like a real bank account, each of your life accounts has a balance. Some accounts might have a growing balance. You're investing in them, and they're flourishing. Your future in that area feels secure. Some might have a consistent balance. You're holding steady but not really growing. Your present might be fine, but your future could be in jeopardy. And some accounts might have a declining balance. You're spending more than you're putting in. You're overdrawn. If too many accounts are in this condition, you risk going bankrupt in that area of your life. Maybe you're crushing it in your career account, but your health account is severely overdrawn because you never exercise and eat junk food. Or maybe your finances are great, but your marriage account is flat because you and your spouse have become like roommates. To figure out the balance, the authors say you need to look at 2 things for each account: passion and progress. Passion is your enthusiasm. Do you love your work? Is your love for your spouse growing? Do you enjoy exercising? Progress is the results you're getting. Are you getting promoted? Is your relationship getting stronger? Are you getting healthier? When you look at passion and progress together, you can see that every life account is in one of 4 states. First is the drift zone. This is where you have no passion and no progress. It's the worst place to be. You feel apathy, anger, or even despair. Something has to change. Second is the lift zone. Here, you have passion but no progress. You're excited, but you're not seeing results. This is the aspiring musician who loves to play but can't get a paying gig. If you don't start seeing progress soon, that passion can turn into cynicism. Third is the shift zone. This is where you have progress but no passion. You're moving forward, but your heart isn't in it. This is the successful dentist who's making great money but hates the monotony of his job. You feel dread and drudgery. Fourth is the gift zone. This is the best place to be. You have both passion and progress. You feel satisfied, grateful, and energized. This is the state you want to be in for every one of your life accounts. Once you've listed your accounts and assessed their condition, there's one final step for this second question. You must arrange them in priority order. This can be tough. They're all important, or they wouldn't be on your list. But they're not all equally important. Ranking them forces you to decide what takes precedence when push comes to shove. And trust me, life will always push and shove. Is your career more important than your family? Is your social life more important than your health? The authors offer one powerful piece of advice here. They recommend putting the accounts related to yourself, your spiritual, physical, and intellectual well-being, near the top of the list. It might sound selfish, but think about the safety instructions on an airplane. They always tell you to secure your own oxygen mask before assisting others. Why? Because if you run out of air, you can't help anyone. You can't pour from an empty cup. By taking care of yourself first, you ensure you have the energy, health, and clarity to serve everyone else in your life. So now, you know how you want to be remembered. And you've gotten clear on what matters most. You're ready for the final, most practical question. The third powerful question: how can I get from here to where I want to be? This is where the rubber meets the road. This is where you chart the course. For every single one of your life accounts, you're going to create a simple, one-page action plan. This action plan is broken down into 5 simple sections. Section 1 is your purpose statement. For each account, you write 1 or 2 sentences that define your role and primary responsibility. What's your purpose in this area? For his health account, one person wrote, "My purpose is to maintain and care for the temple God has given me." For her spouse account, another wrote, "My purpose is to be the love of Andy's life, his primary cheerleader and his soulmate." This statement anchors you. It's your North Star for that account. Section 2 is your envisioned future. This is where you describe what this account looks like when it's functioning at its absolute best. But here's the key. You write it in the present tense, as if it's already a reality. You're not fantasizing. You're creating a clear, compelling picture that your mind can start working to achieve. Instead of saying, "I want to be lean and strong," you write, "I am lean and strong, possessing vibrant health and extraordinary fitness." Instead of saying, "I hope to be debt-free," you write, "I am completely debt-free. I have all the money I need to meet my obligations and accomplish my goals." Do you feel the shift? This isn't just wishful thinking. When you create a vivid picture of the future and believe it's possible, your subconscious mind goes to work, problem-solving and directing your focus to make it a reality. Section 3 is an inspiring quote. This is optional, but many people find it helpful. Find a quote, a verse, or a saying that resonates with you and captures the spirit of what you want to achieve in this account. It provides a little jolt of emotional energy every time you read it. Section 4 is your current reality. Now it's time to be brutally honest. Where are you right now in relation to your envisioned future? You list out, in simple bullet points, the good, the bad, and the ugly. You can't get where you want to go until you acknowledge where you are. In his health account, Michael Hyatt wrote, "I feel great. My stamina is great. I am not presently doing consistent strength training. I am concerned this will eventually catch up with me." This isn't about beating yourself up. It's about creating a clear-eyed assessment of the gap between where you are and where you want to be. Section 5 is your specific commitments. This is the most critical part. Based on your current reality and your envisioned future, what specific actions will you commit to? These aren't vague goals. They're concrete, non-negotiable actions that will close the gap. The authors recommend making these commitments SMART. Specific. They identify exactly what you'll do. Measurable. You can track them. Actionable. They start with an action verb. Realistic. They should stretch you but be achievable. Time-bound. They have a frequency, like daily or weekly. For his health account, Michael committed to run or cross-train 4 days a week. Do strength training 3 days a week. Drink 4 liters of water a day. For his account for his wife, Daniel Harkavy committed to pray with Cherie daily before going to sleep. Date Cherie every week. Take Cherie away for an overnight getaway monthly. These aren't massive, life-shattering changes. They're small, incremental investments. But the cumulative power of these small, daily decisions is what builds an extraordinary life. Just like an ant building an entire city 1 grain of sand at a time, your small, consistent actions will build the future you've envisioned. So now you have the full blueprint. You have the 3 powerful questions and the 5-part structure for your action plans. You have everything you need to know. But knowledge isn't power. Action is power. And that's why the final part of the living forward process is perhaps the most important of all. It's the moment of commitment. The authors are insistent on this point. You cannot create a life plan piecemeal, in stolen moments between other tasks. To give it the power it needs, you must create an immersive experience. They urge you to dedicate 1 full day. Schedule it on your calendar within the next 2 weeks. Treat it like the most important appointment of your year, because it is. Find a place where you won't be distracted. A quiet corner of a library, a cheap hotel room, a state park. Turn off your phone. Go completely offline. This 1 day can change everything. It's the day you stop drifting. It's the day you draw a line in the sand and decide to become an active participant in your own life. Of course, once you have the plan, the work isn't over. A plan sitting on a shelf is useless. You have to keep it alive. The authors recommend a simple rhythm of review. For the first 90 days, read your life plan out loud every single morning. This locks it into your heart and mind. After that, conduct a weekly review. Spend 15 to 30 minutes every week looking over your plan, your calendar, and your tasks to make sure you're staying on track. Conduct a quarterly review. Take a few hours every 3 months to go deeper, tweak your commitments, and set goals for the next 90 days. And finally, conduct an annual review. Take another full day, once a year, to do a deep dive, reassess everything, and update your plan for the year ahead. This rhythm of regular review ensures that your life plan doesn't become a relic. It remains a living, breathing document that guides your daily decisions and keeps you moving, intentionally, toward the life you truly desire. It's a revolution against the drift. It's a declaration that your life is too important to be left to chance. It's about understanding that the small, seemingly insignificant choices you make today will radically alter the shape of your tomorrow. The choice, as the book so powerfully reminds us, is yours. You can continue to drift, or you can take the wheel. You can live a life of reaction, or a life of intention. You can be the victim of your circumstances, or the hero of your own story. That's the promise of living forward. As we draw to a close, I want to take a moment to reflect on why this book, Living Forward, is so profoundly important, especially today. In a world that's constantly screaming for our attention, with endless notifications, distractions, and obligations, the message of this book is more than just helpful. It's an act of rebellion. It's a quiet, powerful revolution against the noise. The central idea, the battle between the drift and intentionality, is the fundamental struggle of modern life. It's so easy to wake up one day, 10 years from now, and wonder, how did I get here? What Michael Hyatt and Daniel Harkavy have done is given us not just a philosophy, but a tangible, step-by-step toolkit to fight back. The genius of the life plan isn't in its complexity. It's in its elegant simplicity. Those 3 questions: how do I want to be remembered? What matters most? And how do I get there? Are the only navigation system you'll ever really need. The eulogy exercise, in particular, is one of the most powerful personal development tools I've ever encountered. It has a way of instantly clarifying what's truly important and what's just urgent. It sweeps away the trivial and leaves you standing face to face with your deepest values. If you decide to apply the lessons from this book, here are a few simple actions you can take, starting today, to begin your own journey of living forward. First, just try the eulogy exercise. You don't need a full day for this part. Just take 15 minutes tonight before you go to sleep. Grab a piece of paper and write down the names of the 5 most important people in your life. Under each name, write one sentence about how you hope they'll remember you. That's it. Just doing that small act can begin to shift your perspective. Second, identify your life accounts. Don't worry about prioritizing them or writing action plans yet. Just make a list. Give a name to the 7 to 10 most important domains of your life. Seeing them all written down on one page is a powerful experience. It reminds you that you're a whole person, not just a student, an employee, or a parent. And third, schedule 1 hour in your calendar this week for what you can call a thinking retreat. Find a time and place where you can be alone, without your phone. Just sit with your thoughts. Think about your life, your dreams, your frustrations. The simple act of creating space to think is the first step in breaking free from the drift. That was a summary of Living Forward by Michael Hyatt and Daniel Harkavy. We've explored the core ideas today, but I'll be honest with you, a summary can only ever be a signpost. The real journey happens when you walk the path yourself. The true power of this book isn't just in the information, it's in the process. It's in the quiet moments of reflection when you're writing your eulogy, or the spark of excitement you feel when you craft an envisioned future that truly inspires you. This summary is designed to help you decide if this book is worth your time. If anything we've talked about today has struck a chord deep inside you, I encourage you to grab a copy. Reading it isn't just learning. It's an experience that can genuinely give you the map to the life you've always wanted. A link to the book is in the description below. Also, if you found this journey valuable, please take a moment to like this summary and subscribe to the channel. That way, you won't miss our next exploration into another life-changing book from the billionaire's bookshelf. Let's keep growing together.